Are you winning? Do you need help in your life or business? Could you use some inspiration, business strategies, and success principles? I'm Daniel Gomez, award-winning business coach, keynote speaker, and best-selling author. On the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, we will help you create a successful life and elevate your business. Together, we will discover the keys that unlock your success and dreams. Welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, where we motivate you, we inspire you, and we educate you. And today, I tell you, we got a special treat for you. We got a gem of a guest. This gentleman knows all the ins and outs of marketing. Yes, you heard me right, marketing. If no one knows about you, you ain't going to get any business. And this man knows how to get eyeballs on you, your business, your brand. So let's welcome to the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, a good friend of mine, Rob Ratliff. Rob, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great. Where's the fanfare? We need that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
doing
well,
well.
I know the amazing human being you are, Rob. Do me a favor. Introduce yourself take a minute and introduce yourself to the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, please, brother.
Sure. My name is Rob Ratliff. I own a marketing agency called Marketing AI, and I've been in that business for about 13 years, although I've been in marketing, web development for a lot longer than that. But that's kind of my current situation.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll tell you what, so many people talk about sales and sales and sales in the business. And right, if you own a business, you're in sales, even though you like it or not.
Yep.
But I also say this, right? If you own a business, you're also in marketing. But
Yes.
most people, they think that sales is marketing, or they think marketing is sales. Like, what's the difference between marketing and sales? And you're known as a marketing AI guy. Talk to us about that. What's distinguishes marketing away from sales?
So what we do in our marketing is we follow what we call a GROW framework, and this will put this all into context for you. So G stands for, and this is the marketing side of things, gain more visibility. And that is that if people don't know about your business, they can't do business with you. So if you're not everywhere that people are looking, especially your target clients, then they can't find you. They're not going to do business with you if they don't know about you. Now, this could be social media, it could be Google Ads, it could be YouTube videos, it could be Chamber of Commerce sites. I mean, there's so many places where you can introduce yourself to the people around you and to your target audience. So that's just the first step, is gain visibility. You've got to be in front of people, right? No matter how you do it. R is then retargeting those customers that have come to your website or signed up for a newsletter, something like that, to where we re-engage them, we retarget them. So let's say that we drove them to the website once, then you've seen those ads, for example, on Amazon, where you'll go look at some shoes or something like that, and then you'll start seeing those shoes everywhere you go, all over the web. That's a retargeting ad. And again, that's about gaining visibility, but it's re-engaging the audience, the people that you've already kind of lured into the website or lured in with your ad. Then the O is for optimize the conversions. And that's where we look at your website, how it's laid out. Are there good, clear calls to action? Do people want to take action? So we look at all those things. Now, that's all part of marketing. The W is win more clients. And that's the sales portion of it. You've done all of these steps to get people in front of you, but now you have to sell them into doing business with you, into actually closing. And now all of that could be lining them up for the sale, but until you're asking for that credit card, it's all marketing.
I love it, right? And I love what you're saying, because I think so many times we feel like, oh, well, customers are just going to come to us. They're not going to come to you. I think of, I don't know what conference I was at, but someone said, right, best known always beats best, right?
Yes.
You can be the best at baking. You can be the best lawn service guy. You can be the best hairstylist. You can be the best speaker. But if no one knows who you are, you can be the best marketer, but if no one knows who you are, you ain't going to attract any clients.
Right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show where I say, get out your pen, get out your paper, because Rob's about to drop some massive, deeper wisdom. And I want you to take notes. And you know what I always say, what you write down, you retain over 50% of it, even more in your subconscious mind, that we can go back and study this episode and not just hear it or watch it, but really study it. So Rob, best known beats best, right? And so many people are, they're great, but nobody knows about them. And like what you're saying, I love your growth philosophy, right? I love that acronym that you gave us to open up with. Do you think like what's the biggest challenge that you've seen, right? Because you have a marketing agency. What are the two or three biggest challenges that you see that people have to get over because they don't think that way, right? Because you're leaving an employee mindset, you're starting a business.
Mhm.
What's marketing? And we take for granted because we see Coke everywhere, but we've been indoctrinated with Coke since we were kids. So what are the
Yeah.
two or three different things you really got to bang into your new clients' heads?
When it comes to marketing,
Yes.
I guess the first point would just be that you have to do marketing. You have to have some kind of a budget. Now, it doesn't mean you have to come out the gate spending $10,000 a month, but if you're not doing something to get in front of people, then your business isn't going to grow. I mean, it's bottom line. You know that. We all know that. I think everybody innately understands that. Even if it's just doing your Facebook post and your social media post, Instagram posts, things like that, where you're essentially giving your time in order to create content that will introduce yourself to others. Now, when you get beyond that and you start getting financially stable and you have a little bit of marketing budget, the reason that's good is because now we can kind of cheat a little bit and we can buy ads and buy space and even attract influencers and things that we can have do the marketing for us, if that makes sense. So at
Yeah.
first, it may just be a lot of your time, but as your business grows and you start getting more clients, more customers, and now your time is focused on the customers, well, hopefully, along with that, if you've built this right, money comes in. That's where you put the money towards advertising on platforms where you don't necessarily have to create the content every day, all the time, every week. You just create maybe one video and then you use ads to share that video with your target audience across YouTube, Facebook. I mean, all these different places where you can boost posts or run video ads. So first it's time, but when you run out of time, it's time to start putting money into it and let the dollars go to work for you, doing your ads for you and running those, getting in front of the right people.
So let me ask you this. We'll just say somebody's new to the entrepreneurship space. They've been in business now, we'll just say a year to 2 years, and we'll just say they're making 100,000 now a year. How much of that 100,000 should they put, right, delegate towards just marketing? How much, what do you think the monthly budget might be if someone's right? If you're making 100,000 a year, you're making about 8,000 a month, 9,000 a month. How much should go to marketing for that?
Well, statistically, what marketing generally says is for growth that's just kind of maintaining a growth that you're at right now, you're looking at about 8 to 10% of that budget, of that income, of that revenue. So that'd be, $900, $1,000 a month. If you're really looking to grow quickly and put a lot more into marketing and reach more people, it can be as high as 20 to 25% of that. So it could be $2,500 of that $10,000.
Wow. So it's really right. How much do you want to grow? So
Yeah.
so if you were to could give us, right, grow is the acronym. I love that. So someone comes into business, they really don't know how to get to that next level. What's the 1, 2, 3 step that you would have them take with you when they come in, right? I want to work with Rob. What's the 1, 2, 3 step, or what are the steps that you're gonna walk me through that? Because I truly believe that they don't even know, right? I mean, because most people,
Mhm.
and I think this is why over 90% of businesses are out of business within a year. And then within 5 years, the next, right, 90% are out of business within 5 years because they still think like that corporate employee. I do a big training called Kill the Employee Mindset. And you have to start building that business mindset. I coach a lot of my clients through this. We've taken many small businesses that were making 100,000 to making 250,000, 500,000 now because they have to change the way they think and their perspective. So that being said, they don't think marketing, right? So when I come in and I work with Rob, what am I going to see when I work with you, brother?
So one of the first things that we do is we want to look at what is their objective and what are they selling or offering. I mean, there's really, I can think of about three things that will doom a business. One is a bad product. Two would be bad customer support, because your product could be great, but if your employees are mean, so, no one wants to work with you. And then three, just bad marketing. I mean, you're not getting your name out there, right? So we try to look at what is it that they're selling and who is it that they're trying to target. And then depending on the situation, sometimes you want to be on search engine, Google, Bing ads, things like that, so that when people are searching for you, they can find you. Other times it could be, well, people don't know about this product or service at all, so no one's going to be searching for it. Well, in that case, you've got to turn to things like social media, TikTok ads, stuff like that, right? So we're going to look at your business and say, okay, what is it that you're offering? Who is it that you're trying to target? And then we're going to find the best place to target those individuals. So look at the websites that they go to, look at the videos that they watch, and then try to get your ad in front of them the best that we can. So each one of the different type scenarios is either A, you're looking at a search term where they search for something and then they can find you because you've done either your search optimization or you're running ads on Google and Bing, right? And then the next step would be if they aren't necessarily searching for you, then go to things like social media, TikTok, and introduce the idea to people. But again, make sure that you're targeting the people that are going to do business with you. And I tell you what, things like YouTube are amazing at being able to target the right people, because a lot of interests show up in the things that people watch, obviously. I mean, that's kind of a given, right? So
Yeah.
if I know that my product is going to be best suited for people who are in their 30s, who are into health and fitness, then I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at what YouTube channels, what YouTube categories are those people watching, and then I'll get my ad in front of them, right? So,
I love it.
yeah.
So let me ask you this. What made you, Rob, like you're a marketing genius now, but what led to that, right? There was a point in your life, I guess, that you said, I'm tired of doing XYZ. What was it that one day you woke up and said, I'm gonna own a marketing agency? How did that come about?
Oh man, it's just been, I think, one of those things I've struggled with all my life is um, school, for example, being on a schedule, showing up for classes, having to read a book and then answer questions. And that whole thing in my life was so difficult for me. And I just really didn't like it. It was too slow. I didn't like the people telling me where I had to be, when I had to be there, what I had to do. In fact, in about ninth grade, I was just kind of failing classes, not going to school, not interested. There's so many other things that I, wanted to be doing. And I decided, I would just kind of drop out of school. What they call in the workforce quiet quitting, where I'd show up but I wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And because I was failing, my mom and dad essentially said, well, what do you want to do in your life? I said, well, what I really want to do is I want to be an Air Force pilot. That's what I really want to do. So they said, okay, well, let's go talk to the Air Force about you becoming a pilot. Now, hopefully you already know where this is headed, but I went to this recruiter and he was like, dude, you can't even finish high school. We're not going to put you in a multi-million-dollar plane or $1 billion plane to fly around. You can't even finish high school. So that didn't work. My whole career as an Air Force pilot went down the drain pretty quickly there. So we said, well, what else can we do? And we found a home study program where I could do my school, but I could do it as quickly as I wanted to do it. And all I had to do was I would take home these books, read the books, answer the questions, go back, take a test, and then whatever that book was worth, a quarter credit, half credit, would be added to my tally till I got to enough and I was finished. Well, because I was able then to do this on my own time, on my own schedule, how I wanted to do it, as fast as I wanted to do it, I essentially finished all my high school in about 6 to 8 months. I don't remember exactly the time frame, but it was really quick. I was
Yeah.
just able to get through it, get the subject matter. And that's kind of been my whole life. I've just always wanted to do what I wanted to do. And so as I've moved through my career, I was working for America Online at one point. I was working for a company that did real estate training and seminars, things like that. But when those companies went under, and this was back in about 2008, Then the beautiful state of Missouri, where I was living at the time, said I was what we call a displaced worker and sent me back to school to learn some kind of trade. Well, I'd always loved computers, loved graphic design. And before that time, back in just the late 90s, when the internet was fresh, I started learning HTML, building websites, and my friends thought it was so cool, right?
Yeah.
So I just kind of did that. And because the state paid for me to get a degree in graphics and web development, I then started working for a business where I was helping them with their websites and things. But again, that business didn't make it, went under. It was kind of a new business. I went
Yeah.
through so many startups of other people's businesses that I was trying to get going and trying to work with them, and I was just kind of employed by them. It
Yeah.
just didn't work out. So what really ended up happening is I just decided, this working for other people sucks, because even if you do a good job, they're bought out or something happens, and next thing you know, you spent 5 years and they're out of a job. So I just decided back in 2010, I'm just going to have my own business where I have a way to produce income no matter what happens.
Yeah.
That's how that started.
Well, man, you've been in business for many, many years now. You've overcome a lot of adversities, and I really, I truly see this, right? Because I do a lot of business coaching with a lot of our clients and just business owners, and I see that there's always a pivotal moment in their business where they were either going to make it or not going to make it, and you've
Mhm.
already made it.
Mhm.
What was that? Tell us a little bit about that story when you were like, I don't know if this is going to work or not, and you almost gave in, but you pushed through. And what did you learn through that lesson in business for yourself?
Well, I'll tell you what I learned. Because I've had this business for so long, every once in a while, I would have someone who would offer me a job and a stable paycheck. And there were a couple times where I took that opportunity, and again, I ran with that while I was running this business on the side. And then I did it again, probably a couple of years ago. Someone offered me a position, gave me a good paycheck. So I was like, well, I'll take that stable paycheck. Well, what happened was the business grew to a point just kind of on the side because I had some people helping me. I hired a employee slash business partner to go out and find new clients so that they can kind of work that while I was fulfilling the back end. And I actually had hired someone else to do the back end stuff. So I had my job, my kind of 9 to 5, but I was running this on the side as well. But I think it was July of last year, when 2023, when I just said, I can't stand this cubicle anymore. I just can't come to work, sit at the same desk, not having the ability to run my schedule. It was just so hard. And I debated on this for so long. And finally, I just told my boss, I said, I can't, I can't keep doing this. And I just put in and this was what's interesting about this. I said, I need to wean you off of me. And he just kind of smiled and he said, okay, well, how long do we have? And I said, well, I can take as long as, because it's kind of running on the side,
Yeah.
I can do this, if it takes a month, 2 months to get another replacement in, then I'll sit around. And he said, that's great, but you really need to take care of yourself. So, if you had it your way, how long would it be that you were still working with us? And I said, well, honestly, there's so many things I need to do in my business that 2 weeks, I mean, I could leave right now and have so much to do,
Yeah.
but I could give it 2 weeks. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, did I just say that? Did I just say 2 weeks? And he said, okay, let's plan on 2 weeks. And that is the moment where I went from employee to entrepreneur, and full on, nothing on the side, not looking for a job plus this. I mean, I am so done with the jobs, the careers. It is entrepreneur all the way. And it was at that point when I realized this is now the path that I'm on. That job is gone.
Are you an aspiring speaker? Do you have a book that you've been wanting to write for months, maybe even years? Or are you an aspiring podcaster? You want to start that podcast like the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show and don't know where to start? Well, at Daniel Gomez Enterprises, we can help you do all three. We can help you become that paid speaker, share your story to the world, write your book, and get your podcast launched and help you produce it. We'd love to help you. Give us a call at 210-663-5954. That's 210-663-5954. We can help you become that paid speaker, write that book, and launch your podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Give us a call now. I love it. So you kind of got tired of being tired and being in that cubicle.
Yeah.
And I think so many times people, right, they get fed up. They tolerate what they don't like. And you just said, this is it. And right, I mean, think about it though. Now you have this freedom. I met you at an amazing conference where we hooked up together, and I would have never met you if you would have still been in that cubicle.
Yeah.
And we don't
Yep.
realize that. And so
It
you made a
changes
decision.
everything.
It changed. Yeah. I mean, look, you're even happier. I just see a big smile on you now. I was like, man, this is Rob the man, right? But
Yep.
it just, I think I read a stat that over 70% of American employees are disengaged. Think about that. Over 70% of American employees are disengaged, right?
Yep.
Right? They go to work and they do just enough not to get fired. They do just enough above not to get fired. And that's kind of what I heard you say is you were kind of like, why am I in this cubicle? But it just, it happens because if you don't have passion or it's not what you are, you just, it's not, sometimes we're in positions that we're not even supposed to be in, right? If you're an introvert and you're in a sales job and or an extrovert job, it's like, it's not going to be that. What did you learn though about yourself? What did you learn, right? You showed us how you left and you made a decision, but what did you learn about, what did Rob learn? Like, how, like, I just learned something about myself. What did you learn about yourself that we can all learn from you?
I think the thing that I learned, I would say that the thing I learned most about me is that you've got to follow your heart, follow your passion. How many people are sitting there in that cubicle wishing that they weren't? Now, I'm not saying you want to just listen to this podcast and go, you know what, Rob and Daniel are right, I am out of here, right? You got to have a backup plan. But if you haven't started some kind of business, you need to start some kind of business, something on the side, because, and this is another thing I learned is I can depend on myself not to fire me.
Yeah.
I can't depend on anyone else not to fire me or lay me off or sell the company out from under me, you know. So being in the driver's seat is so big to me, so important to me. And not only that, but we just took a vacation with the family where we all went to the redwoods in California, which was awesome. Those trees are, you just have to see them. It's amazing. And I didn't have to ask my boss for time off.
Because you can literally work from anywhere, right?
I can. And I did work, 2 or 3 hours a day, but not that much. But I didn't have to go to my boss and schedule the time off and clear it with HR and jump through all those hoops. I just said, yeah, let's go. And we took off. That right there, to me, entrepreneurialism equals freedom. And when I told my parents that I'd quit my job, they're kind of the old school career focused, and they just had kind of a funny, they just said, well, you didn't consult with us before you did that,
Yeah.
And I said, well, and they said, why? I said, well, my business is starting to grow. I just can't sit in this little cubicle anymore. I just can't take it. And my mom, just bless her heart, she's so funny. She said, why don't you just ask the boss for a bigger cubicle? It's like, I think you're missing the point,
Oh, the mother's love, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that amazing?
Yeah.
Isn't it, it was something that surprises me. And we live in a beautiful country. I mean, God bless America, right? Like we really have freedom to be an entrepreneur. But it amazes me how for like small businesses is it's harder to get a loan. Listen to what I'm about to say. It's hard to get a loan for $20,000 to
Mhm.
start up a business or to keep your business going than it is, right? Than for an 18-year-old guy or gal to go down and get a $250,000 loan, put themselves in debt even more to go get an education. How does that work? Right?
Right?
I won't lend you $20,000 to follow your American dream to start your business, but I'll give you $250,000 to $500,000 to go in debt for the rest of your life to go
Yeah.
get this education that you're not even going to use. Like,
Yeah.
and that's, but the thing is, to your mom's point, right? Like, go get another cubicle because we've been taught as a society to think like factory workers, to think like textile workers for the longest time. That's the way they want us to be. That's why they want you to go to these schools because really, if you think about it, I remember seeing this meme how the same like formation that you have at lunch is the same formation they have in prison, is the same formation because they want to control you.
Yeah.
And the moment you go into entrepreneurship for yourself, it's like what you just said. I have the freedom to do whatever the hell I want to do.
Yeah. It's the best feeling. It is the best feeling. And just yesterday, I went into my schedule, my calendar, because I do a lot of scheduling through Calendly. That's one of the ones that I use. And I just set, I think it was 1 to 2:30 is I'm not in the office. I'm not taking calls. I'm not, and that's my time where I go to the gym, work out, you know. I'm not built like you yet, but I'm working on it, right? And but that was time that I could just,
And you see that little muscle right there
just
that's coming out.
you can't see anything as a good, maybe if I hold it close to the camera, it
Woo,
looks
there it
bigger,
is. There it is. I
Okay.
see those pythons there.
Look at that, right? But I mean, tell me how many workers out there right now can just say, I'm going to take an hour and a half off in the middle of the day to go to the gym and then I'll come back. Now, there are some jobs where people will do that, but for the most part, most people out there listening to this, they're pretty structured on when they take their lunch and who they go out with, and so again, entrepreneurialism is freedom if you do it right, if you're growing your business, if you have the
Yeah.
income, if you're scaling, if you're marketing, selling, right? All those things. But if you understand how to market and you understand how to sell, those are the two things. And of course, you have to have a good product. But if you can do that, you can grow, you can make money. And you're right. That
Let me
school.
ask you this. Let me ask you this. What is the best business advice that you've ever gotten? What is the best business advice that you've gotten that you can share with us here on the show?
Best business advice I've ever gotten. That's a good one because I've had a lot of good advice from a lot of good people. But one of the things that I think stands out the most is not necessarily advice that I was given, but something that I kind of came up with in my own mind based on a lot of different things that have happened in my life and people that I've known. And that was, you have to make a decision, right? You have to, and this is something and we kind of talked about this a little bit about this book that I have called Driven to Succeed.
Yeah, you have a copy with you by chance? Is that on Amazon or where's the book at right now?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. I'm rewriting some things right now, but it's called Driven to Succeed
Nice.
by Rob Ratliff. What's interesting about this is another entrepreneurialism, right?
Yeah.
I spent years and years writing this book, just accounting for lots of different things that I've learned, people that I've just life lessons. So a lot of it I just kind of wrote because I wanted it to something to pass down to my children. Here's what I've learned, right? And I sat on this for probably 10, 15 years. And finally, I just decided, I'm going to go on Amazon, I'm going to self-publish this thing. I don't care. Just get it out there, get it done. And I published it and I went back through it and I started finding all these grammatical errors, spelling errors, stuff like that. So I'm in the process of redoing it. But, the point is, it doesn't matter. I did it. I got it done. I got it up there. Now I can fix it. Let's go back and do that. But I made the determination right then and there. I'm going to publish this book. I'm going to get up there. I'm going to do it. I made a determination July last year. I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to go do this full time. And without that determination, and that's the first letter in the driven formula,
Yeah.
determination. When you look up determination, I thought it meant the same thing as tenacity, sticking to something,
Determined, right? Yeah.
determined, right? But the actual literal translation of determination is the act of deciding.
Mm.
And how many people don't decide? They just, "Oh, I don't really want to quit, but maybe I do, but I don't know." And it's like, you got to make a decision. Are you going to be a career guy for the rest of your life, which is fine? Or are you going to quit and be an entrepreneur the rest of your life, which is fine? But you have to decide, what is it going to be? So the best advice that I can give anyone is, when it comes to business, you have to start making decisions. You can't just be sitting back waiting, hoping that something is going to change. You have to decide what that's going to be, and then you have to pursue that like it's the most important thing in the world.
I love it, brother. How does somebody get a hold of Rob if they want to work with you, brother?
So you can email me at rob@marketingai.com. I'm on LinkedIn. I think it's just IN Rob, /IN /Rob Ratliff. Find me on Facebook. I own the domain marketingai.com, which is a really cool domain to have. I bought it about 14, 15 years ago when the AI was initially supposed to stand for all inclusive.
All inclusive. I love it.
Right. And now it's AI. So marketingai.com is my domain. You can come there. You can see my website.
Love it, man. Well, I'll tell you what, thank you for being such an amazing show here and our guest. We'll definitely put all of Rob's information in the show notes, ladies and gentlemen. That's a wrap for this week's episode. And like we always say here in the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, go back, study your notes, what did you write down? And don't just listen to this episode to listen to it. Study it. Study it. And we want to remind you, if you have a story to share, we want to help you. With DG Publishing behind us right here, we've published hundreds of books. We want to help you get your story out there to the world. And if you're stuck in life, if you're stuck in business, as a matter of fact, our very own Rob's going to be joining us here May 24th, 25th this month here in San Antonio. We want to see it, our Makings of a Millionaire Mind Bootcamp. It's going to help you, right? I'm in the business of improving lives. I'm in the business of helping businesses grow. I want to make your life better. I want to make your business better. This is Daniel Gomez Inspire saying, if you need help, reach out to our team. You can call us at 210-663-5954. We want to help you. Until next week with another amazing guest here on the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. Thank you for tuning in. And once again, Rob, thank you for joining us, my friend. You've been a big blessing.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm really looking forward to coming to this. And in fact, that's another perk of entrepreneurialism right there. I've got a credit card that I run ads through. I've got tons of Sky Miles. Already upgraded to first class. Just through my, like it's so I'm going to be there. I'm going to be flying in style. I appreciate you having me on the show. And thank you so much for all of your energy and all the help that you've given me too. So thank you.
You're welcome, brother. Love you, man. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen. This is Daniel Gomez Inspires, and thank you for listening to our show today. Please share this episode with a friend, leave us a review, and subscribe to our show. And for listening to our show today, I want to give you a free gift. I want to invite you to our Millionaire Mind community. Text the word millionaire, that's millionaire, to 210-942-5059. Yes, join our community today and receive millionaire affirmations, inspirational quotes on a weekly basis. That's 210-942-5059. Text the word millionaire today and join our community. And once again, thank you for listening to our show.